welcome to Get Focused, Millennial Matters, Episode 3, Shadow Dancing. I am your host, Salena Santibañez Guipzot. Our organization, Growing Empowered Together, or GET for short, connects the dots between personal experiences and public policy in order to motivate more young people to vote and volunteer in Texas. Gracias por acompañarnos. Vamos a empoderarnos juntos. Thank you for joining us. We'll explore the physical and emotional transformations that dancing reveals and how these changes help people own their personal histories, as well as their dreams and their futures. And we'll visit a dance studio that provides a safe and judgment-free space for students to dance beautifully with their own shadows. Our first two guests are Brandon DeLong and Liz. Liz has chosen to use only her first name due to the sensitivity of her personal experiences. She's an engineer student who also works 2 jobs, and she's a dance student. Welcome, Liz.
Hi.
Brandon is Liz's dance instructor. He's a native Texan and is an injured U.S. veteran who, like his student Liz, has personal experience with healing powers of dance. Welcome, Brandon.
Hi.
Liz, thank you for allowing us into a very private and dark period of your life so that others may know that they too can overcome their circumstances. We commend you for your bravery. Please briefly tell us about your situation and how you wound up at the dance studio.
Last year in about October, I found out that my stepsister was having a case against my real dad. He was molesting her, and it was something that I had had personal experience with when I was a lot younger. And even though it had been like 7 years, all these emotions and stuff started getting brought up. And right after I found all that out, I was in a severe car accident, totaled my car, and I was just going through a really dark period of time with all these emotions. I didn't know how to handle all of that. I started failing out of school. I didn't want to do anything. I stopped seeing my friends, and I decided that I wanted to try to do something for myself, and I didn't know what that was. And I was thinking about making some pretty bad choices, and I was driving one day, and on a whim, something I had thought about for years and just never thought I would really do well in and didn't want to do was dance. And I was driving by and I saw the sign for the dance studio, and I don't even know why, but I was like, I want to take dance lessons. And so I pulled over, and they were closed that day, but I called the next day and made my first appointment, and then I started dancing, and it was uncomfortable at first because I didn't really know what to expect or how it was gonna really do anything for me. I didn't have the finances to do it, I didn't have the time, but it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. So
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Liz. Thank you for sharing. Brandon, thank you for your service in the military, and thank you for the opportunity to explore your extraordinary personal journey. Can you tell us about the circumstances that made your life seem so grim at one time and how you responded?
Well, like you said, I was in the Army. For me, growing up, the Army was going to be my life. I had planned at a young age that was going to be my career. I got injured early on, very early in my career. I tore my Achilles tendon. At first, they were concerned about my ability to walk again or even walk normal. So I spent a lot of time very upset about that career ending. And I only worked in an office job. I got heavy from being injured and not being active. And then just kind of on a random whim, I was invited out dancing, had no interest in it, but I went anyway, and I tried it and had the most fun I had had in ages. So I ended up becoming a dance addict. I was dancing every other night of the week, even if that meant I was only getting 2-3 hours of sleep the night before. And it really brought me back to being a lot happier than I was at the time. To the point that I wanted to try more and more and more. So I kept trying new dances, and eventually that's how I got introduced to ballroom dancing.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Brandon. You know, you briefly touched on it, but how did you really get out of that funk and onto the dance floor? You danced for hours at end, days at end, but what really was it for you?
You know, the thing that made it work is I had tried going dancing before, and it was an awful experience. Like I did poorly, I was frustrated, the person I was going dancing with was frustrated, like it was just a hot mess, like it was awful. And it was because we were just trying to pick it up on our own with no help. And then we tried a couple of like lessons in group classes, and the people that we tried it with were so supportive and they were so nice, and it didn't matter how many times we screwed up or made mistakes, they made it fun. They were laughing and joking and just having fun, and that kind of stripped away all of the like worry, oh my God, I'm not getting it, I have to be perfect. And I was like, who cares if I mess up? I was having a good time. And that encouragement made it addicting. It was so nice to go somewhere, and it didn't matter how I was doing, I could still have fun, even if I was really, really bad at it.
Thank you. Well, sometimes community engagement is one-on-one. It's going to visit a neighbor in need or helping a friend get back on their feet. We're glad that your friends were there for you, Brandon. I wonder, what is it about dance in particular that has helped you both so much? Is it the rhythm of the music, the exercise, the social aspects, the physical connection with another person, or something else? Liz, what do you think? Why was dance so effective at helping you to recover from a physical abusive situation?
Well, for the first thing it did for me personally was give me a lot more confidence. I didn't really have a whole lot of that. So being able to express myself in different ways and doing things I never thought that I could really had the potential to do with dancing really like helped me with my self-confidence. And I also feel like because ballroom dancing, which is also why I wanted to do it, is a partner dance. And for me, especially like having all those emotions and stuff brought up again, it was really hard to engage with other people and not, even people like I had known for years, and not expect them to like harm me in some way or make me feel uncomfortable. And so learning how to deal with partner dancing and trusting your partner and getting to know people and making new friends and just the social community and how family oriented dance can really be, it really helped me get over the fact that I wasn't having comfort or trust in other people the way I did, because I was always worried about things that had happened to me personally. So that helped me in that aspect as well. And it's always nice to, it's also a de-stressor. I work 2 jobs, I'm a full-time student, I'm the oldest of 6, so I'm always busy, go, go, go all the time. And it's nice to just kind of have that time to myself and really just enjoy the moment and the experience. So
Wonderful, thank you for that, Liz. Brandon, what is it about dance that captured your attention and helped it as you move through your darkest hours?
The social aspect was a huge influence. The getting out, meeting people, especially with a dance studio, having that moral support of people that they don't care whatever your backstory is or where you come from, who you are. It'll be a lot of fun, and they're always encouraging.
So very much a supportive family for both of you.
Without a doubt.
Thank you by coming into the studios today to tell your story. We know that you will help others see new possibilities in their own futures. So thank you for that. When things were at their worst, did you seek out help from others? And has that help made you want to pay it forward and help those experiencing something similar?
Yeah, so when I was a lot younger, when I was a teenager, after having experienced a lot of those things firsthand, I didn't really come out and tell anybody for a while. And one of the problems I had was I had a drug problem. And so last year, after all that stuff had happened, at first I had actually like started kind of noticing old habits like coming up. And I've taken a lot of therapy to know those signs. So I started going to therapy, and one of my therapists asked me what I wanted to do, and at first I didn't understand the question. And so that's why I decided to do dance. So in seeking out dance, that's kind of how I helped myself, because normally like doing things for myself is not an option for me. But I also thought at some point in that I wanted to try to help others. So I actually took up some volunteer work with Child Safe to help kids that had gone through some similar experiences and things like that. But it worked for a few months, and then after a few months I started to, it took a real emotional toll on me. It was really hard to be around kids that were abused and raped and things like that I just, it hit home a lot. And it's really hard to be supportive and be what they need when I feel what they're feeling 100%. So unfortunately I had to stop doing that, but that was why when Lauren brought me this project, I thought, well, maybe this is my way of helping out and giving back, because I haven't really been able to do that 100%. So.
Thank you. Brandon, have you ever worked with students outside of the dance studio who may not otherwise have the opportunity to learn dance? Do you think those students enjoyed the experience, and how did teaching them make you feel?
One of the things you learn as a dance teacher early on is that a lot of people need dance for other reasons than just learning how to dance. And we say it as teachers that being a dance teacher is a very selfish job. And the reason for that is because you get to see students come in with all kinds of different needs, whether it's an emotional need or a physical need or a stress relief need, or even just I need to get out and be active and do something. And you get to see the transformation from when they come in to how they develop as a person and they blossom. And it's very, very rewarding. It's so, it's hard to put words to it. Like, you feel so warm inside when you see them and go, wow, I helped this person in their life with whatever it is.
Thank you for that. And it's obviously touched you and touched both of you, and the fact that y'all are going to continue that work is incredible. Thank you both for your time and for sharing your personal stories of resilience. Can you give each other a high five for all the great work you've done together, and show us how you dance together? David and Jenny teach social and competitive dancing in ballroom, standard, Latin, rhythm, country western, and swing. And they tell everyone that they have the most exceptional students in the entire world. Welcome to our show, Jenny and David.
Thank you.
David, what are the types of reasons that students give you for starting dance lessons?
99.9% of people probably say that they come in to learn how to dance, but as you heard from before, a lot of times people come in for different reasons, different aspects in their life. Some people come in for exercise, some people come in for social reasons or social awkwardness. They're ready to kind of get back out into the scene. Maybe some people got divorced and they're ready to go out and meet somebody new. So they vary very much so.
One of the goals that my wife and I had when we retired, was we wanted to travel and we wanted to dance. Unfortunately, she became very ill and passed away but she made me promise before she passed away that I would experience both of those for both of us.
One of the biggest challenges I've had is self-confidence in my looks. Not so much in what I can do. I know I can do certain things. I know I can do my profession as a teacher. I know I can do things, but in my looks, I've always struggled with that self-confidence of just weight or looks or height. The anvil that I carry around is my body shape, and that I'm not supposed to be able to look good anywhere, much less on the ballroom dance floor.
I started as a student and I've been teaching for almost 8 years now. What dancing gives for the students, it also gives for us teachers. Because we all have to pay bills. You know, some of us have children, I have children myself, but when I actually come to work, it's an escape for me. I too get to lose myself in the music and lose myself with my partner.
Jenny, you've taught many different students over the years. What are your thoughts about why different people respond so positively to dance? Is it the music, the rhythmic motion, the closeness with someone else, or is it something else?
I think it's a combination of everything. It's very rare, especially as an adult, that you get to learn something new and get patted on the back for it. You don't get gold stars as adults usually. So whether you're dealing with a child or an adult, it's really nice because you can get lost in the moment. You're learning a new skill that takes both mental and physical. You get to connect one-on-one with another person and do that through music. So it's really fun. It's a full body and sensory sport. So it's really easy to be able to get lost in all of that when you're dancing.
It's both physically and mentally stimulating to me. I've been active all of my life. Since I've been retired, it's easy to not to be so active, and it forces me into the gym, it forces me into the dance studio, it keeps my mind alert, remembering or trying to remember sequences. I've always been a reserved person. I've not been very outgoing, and that's a challenge for me because in dancing, they want you to be very expressive, and so it's helped me a lot. I've got a long way to go in that regard, but it's made me more outgoing and more sociable. It's allowed me to share my innermost feelings when I'm really not that kind of a person ordinarily.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to move with somebody and to be in sync with them and have a connection with them. All seems right with the world and all seems back on balance again.
Yes, your problems will always be there, but it helps you de-stress, and then when you need to hit that reality again, you hit it with a clear mind and a clear heart.
Well, Jenny and David, does teaching dance to others give something back to you personally? And if so, what is that?
Yes, definitely. This is, I feel guilty a lot of times because, like Brandon said, it's so amazing when you get to hear other people's stories and you get to see how much they've blossomed and changed and grown from the dancing. It's such an amazing thing to be able to see, and you get that light bulb moment when somebody goes, oh, I got it. I feel pretty. I feel nice. So look I can dance at the bars. It's such a rewarding job and such a rewarding thing to do.
Yeah, a lot of people come in for stress relief, so it's really good to see somebody come in really stressed, and at the end of the dance lesson they're leaving and they're happy and they're excited, and yeah, it's a very powerful thing.
Growing Empowered Together works to celebrate and foster volunteerism by the Millennial community. And so I have a few questions pertaining to just that. Jenny, the San Antonio community has so many opportunities for volunteers to give a part of themselves to others. How does the studio reach out to the community at large, and how does it service others?
We really try to reach out as much as humanly possible. David and I, we love what we do. We love dancing, and we know the power of dance and how much it helps. So we work really, really hard to try to go to places. We've gone to retirement homes, and it's wonderful to see people connecting with the music and being able to kind of, oh, hey, I can move again, I can do this, and they get lost in the moment for a while. We've been to schools where you can have, elementary school kids who they have more stresses at home than sometimes the adults do. And they get to be kids and have fun and dance and play, and it's such an amazing thing to be able to go to various places and just share the power of dance. We've worked with quite a few different people, and as long as they can move some part of their body, they can feel that power and they can dance and have a lot of fun with it.
David, please talk with us about your most memorable community outreach experiences in San Antonio. While you are serving others with your passion, what are your reflections on the benefits it gives them and in return gives you back?
So we work with one organization. The head of it is Lee Cousinberry, a very wonderful man here in town, and he puts on plays. And these plays, all the funds go for domestic violence, to help with domestic violence. So, I don't know, you heard a story from before about this. This is a very serious thing, I think. It happens a lot more than we know about, and a lot of the people that it happens to, they don't ever seek out the help. So people who try and aid people like that, I think, are some of the most wonderful people. I think that's been one of the strongest, I would say, things that we've done to give back to the community. We try and do as much as we can, though, with the American Heart Association, or for cancer, or multiple sclerosis, or Alzheimer's. Anytime anything comes up, we love giving back to the community. I think it's part of our job as business owners to give back to our community. I've always been told that, and I think it's a very true statement. If we take care of our community will take care of us.
There is an organization that we work with a lot as well called Dance All Your Life. It's really neat. This is a wonderful organization, but their focus is giving back to warriors and wounded warriors. So whether they have PTSD or they're physically wounded, and it's so wonderful to be able to deal with people who they don't have that trust necessarily.
What wisdom can you give them about the freedom that dancing offers?
The power of dance is astronomical. You heard some people say, well, I have 3 jobs, I have multiple children, I have all these different siblings, I don't have the time. They found the time, and they were able to work through these really difficult periods in their life.
And a horrible side effect is that they learn how to dance.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, it shows in your students, and it obviously shows in y'all, so thank y'all very much. Well, Jenny, your dance instruction has helped many people who are a lot older than you are to work through their physical and emotional issues. Has that age difference felt like a barrier in any way to the dance partnerships you have with your students?
Not at all. This is one of these amazing, places where you can have a 6-year-old student dancing with a 90-year-old student, and everyone in between, and everybody gets together and has fun, and everybody just dances.
Can you tell us something about what makes dancing lessons so fun?
You get to connect with someone. You get to connect one-on-one with someone. And when you get into that lesson, it's not about you as the instructor. It's about what do they want, what do they need, what kind of music is playing. And everyone's different every single day. So there are some times where somebody's like, hey, waltz is my favorite dance. That's all I want to do. But they come in fun and feisty and, okay, let's go cha-cha. And so it's nice because you get to be a little bit of a chameleon as a dance instructor, and you get to go, ooh, this is what they need today, or this is what they want today. How can I make their day better? So that's what I usually take out of this job.
Like Brandon said earlier, I think that this job is in my opinion, a very selfish job, just because we get to make people feel good all day. And at the end of the day, when I see somebody having a bad day and they leave happy, it makes me feel like a good person. I reap such great rewards from this job.
Let's watch some dancing by CNC ballroom instructors.
the perfect avenue. Down the road to both of you. Did I go Dutch? This is too much. With all the money in the world, you could never buy this girl quite enough. It will be tough. If romancing me with neons is something you should do, make the letters bright and luminous and blue, and get me waking up, shake it up, tangle up. You could be waking up, making up, tangle up. You got me making it for my love. We call it tragedy, don't get me tangled up. Tangled up. Tangled up.
Why am I so emotional? No, it's not a good look, ain't some self-control. Deep down I know it never works, but you can lay with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. Darling, stay with me. Won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. Darling, stay with me. Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. Darling, stay with me.
What an amazing sight.
It's an amazing thing. And in our society, it's something that hasn't, I mean, recently now at Dance of the Stars, it's got big again, but people don't dance as much anymore. And I think this is such an important skill, such an important thing to have, especially for gentlemen. Yeah, gentlemen, you gotta be able to dance with your ladies.
I have to agree. You tend to flock to those men if they know what they're doing on the dance floor. So
A guy who can dance, he has all the power.
exactly, I concur. Definitely. Well, we'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us today. It's inspiring to know that people can navigate their darkness in their lives and confront their shadows head on through dance. You can learn more about CNC Ballroom Dancing and our organization Growing Empowered Together by visiting the websites listed on the screen.
Clap along.